Yo, pump it up. It's time for the news. Yo, we getting ready to bring you the news, boy. You need to know it.
All right, welcome to another episode of Open Run. This is the podcast where we take a unique perspective on youth sports and sports in general. All right, so today we have a very special cast, a very special panel, but I'm going to go ahead and introduce the usual suspects. So we have the four-time Georgia High School state champion out of Albany, Georgia, the Westover High School, former Western Kentucky University Hill topper, also played at Southeast Louisiana University, Mr. Andre Lewis. What's up there, Dre?
What up? I coach skills in the two dog. Goddamn.
Not my bad, man.
We always forget something.
You got a class of 2027?
27 and what it is, 2021, 2022.
2022, yeah.
All right, so now we have the most outspoken youth basketball director, the director of Skills Center Elite Basketball, played his college basketball at Cameron University in Loudoun, Oklahoma. Mr. John Arroyo. What up there, John?
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
All right, so we have the best basketball player development specialist this side of the Mississippi. Played his college ball at CFCC in Ocala, Texas Christian University, and also St. Leo University. My man, Mr. Chris Ward, the journeyman. What's up, Chris?
What's up, family?
All right, so we have myself, the ball kicking is youth basketball coach in the Bay Area. Played my college ball at Polk Community College and St. Leo University. I'm Joe Philon. So now we're going to go to our invited special guests. All right, so our first panelist we have, she graduated from University of Central Florida with a degree in organizational communication with a minor in marketing. She also got her master's from Nova Southeastern University in school counseling. She's currently a high school guidance counselor, Miss Carlisia Shepherd. What's up there, Carlisia?
Oh, hi.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
All right. Welcome. All right, so our next panelist, she grew up in Haiti, and she was a standout student at Suffolk Law. She was an attorney at the prestigious law firm of Holland and Knight, where she focused on mergers, acquisitions, and corporate healthcare law. Today, she's a chief legal strategist at Greenlight Business Solutions. She also teaches cannabis law at Suffolk Law, and among many other things. Miss Laury Lucien.
Lucien.
Hello, hi everybody. I also go by Big Mama, so I know I'm gonna say that and you're gonna be very confused.
All right, Big Mama, we got you.
Oh, she a grandmama?
At heart. I kind of want to.
All right, so the next person, he played his high school ball at Jefferson High School, his college ball at the University of South Carolina, in which he had back-to-back NIT championships. He also played professionally for the Memphis Grizzlies and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and currently playing in Italy. Mr. Tarence, Kinsey, what's up there, TK?
How everybody doing?
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Appreciate you being here. And final person, he played his high school ball at Alexander Hamilton High School in Brooklyn, New York. Played his college ball at LSU, and was also drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. Played for the Supersonics and also that inaugural Orlando Magic team. He had a long career overseas as well. Mr. Jerry Ice Reynolds. What's up there, Jerry?
What's up, Ice?
What's going on?
What's
good?
Glad to be
All
here.
right. So today's topic. So we've recently had this topic a little while ago, and the NCAA just released a statement concerning this topic. But today's topic is, should the NCAA pay its players? Who's gonna go? We're gonna let John start us off. So what did the NCAA release? What was the statement? John, you're on mute, buddy.
My bad. Like I'm a newbie on this thing. But I didn't read the whole statement, but I know they're looking into it. And I think they're willing to listen to some ideas about it. And in my opinion, I think it's because of some of these kids that are saying, well, shoot, if I have an opportunity to go to the G League or to go overseas, for a year or two, then I'm going to take that. And I think they realize that, man, that's going to hurt our college sports, the NCAA basketball. So I think they're looking into the idea of paying for their name, the usage of their name. I believe that's what it was about.
And if I can ask, you honestly think that's the true reason?
I ain't say I agree with it now, but
I'm just saying, you think that's the real reason?
In my opinion, it's about that money.
No, it's not about the money. It's about the heat that just came out. All the stuff that's coming out. What was just released as far as
scheme?
The scheme.
Yeah.
And the different things that are happening with these kids having success. You have LaMelo Ball going overseas. You have the other kid that went to New Zealand that's going to go in and draft, and all these kids are going overseas to play ball. Then you have conversation with the G League stepping up, offering all this money to kids coming into. So the NCAA is, and then now you even have the Power 5 conferences talking about breaking away from the NCAA. Like they can stand on their own. University of Florida doesn't need the NCAA's money. Notre Dame doesn't need the NCAA's money because they have the TV rights. And I mean, if you look at Notre Dame's TV rights, I mean, it's like hundreds of millions of dollars. So the NCAA is trying to hold on to these big conferences because they can survive by themselves. I mean, they really can. They don't need the NCAA. They can start their own tournaments. You go to the SEC conference tournament, and you have more people at the SEC conference tournament than you probably have at a NBA game. I mean, and they're going to be there the whole time. So does the conferences really need the revenue stream? So the conferences can break off and start their own. They can start their own, make their own rules. So the NCAA is trying to hold on to what they have left to hold on to. That's just my honest opinion.
All right, so let's take it to Carlisia. So Carlisia, what do you think? Do you think the NCAA should pay its players?
I knew you was going to come to me next. I knew you was. I'm speaking from, I've never played a sport. I've never played basketball. And what I know about basketball is just growing up with it with my brother Tarence. I think that they should still be considered students, even though they're talented and even though, they're making schools all this money. Like, he was there, at one point on billboards and on the arena signs, when you come into South Carolina. But I still think that kind of takes away from them focusing on, because most guys who are playing D1 basketball has the hopes of being drafted or going to the NBA. And I think if they get that money so quickly, it takes the fire out of them to go even harder to get to the next level.
All right, well, let's take it to your baby brother. So TK, what do you think? Do you think the players should get paid?
Most definitely. I think they should get paid. And it's just because some kids coming from different financial backgrounds. And a lot of kids do go back home during the season, you know what I mean, just to help out or from that angle. But at the same time, we are viewed as a student, but also we are popularized as an athlete. I think being a student athlete is bigger than just being a student. Not saying taking anything away from that, but look at the regular students compared to a student athlete. You just got that type of prop. You know what I mean? I think everyone can speak for that. And with that being said, it's like when you're in college, we don't even really get to experience all of the things that a normal college kid would, because we have to sacrifice. We have to learn how to make sacrifices day in and day out. We miss different events because of this, that, and the other. And the way they just go about everything right now, to me, just like how you were saying about like the scheme of things, they don't need it. And the list goes on. I just vote for, they need to pay them guys. They need to. And then also, last thing I'm gonna say about this, and then most universities just don't keep up with the players after they go on anyway. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many good organizations out there that be like, you know what, for the alumni, everybody come in and do this and do this and do that. It's just like once they finish with you, they done with you. You know what I'm saying? So while you there, I think they should get they should get percentages. They should.
So do you think just you think your school kind of handles the alumni like that, or do you see other schools doing something different from some guys that you've interacted with?
Just based off of some of the group conversations, our school is behind when it comes to that. From the classes before me and up until now, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, it's just I don't really have any connections with my university like that, except for if a player comes through and be like, you know what I mean, want a recommendation or I end up talking to them that way. But there's a lot of guys that's still local. They don't even. No one goes back. No one goes back to the university. And I just don't think. I'm pretty sure we welcome, but it's just like there's just no connect to it.
So to pick about what he's saying, it's only players that they really want to come back to the. I ain't gonna say they want everybody to come back, but the ones that are successful, like the guys that have made it to the league, they want to come back and give to the booster of the program. But I'm the devil's advocate, so just to see from a different light, this is why I push academics. They're giving you a free ride to get your degree. Everybody that signs a scholarship to college is not guaranteed to go play in the NBA. They're not guaranteed to go play overseas. So that's why it's important for them to take advantage of the system. Don't let the system take advantage of them by getting that degree. They even offer, and I'm a product of that. I took advantage of everything. I stayed during the summer and took classes and all that type of stuff. But I think that should be a per diem, which we used to get in college, but I think that should be a living per diem that they give to students outside of just paying for their schooling and books, and food, because there's life outside of that we want to do.
They do that now. They give a per diem. So
to take advantage of it, I'm gonna utilize and get this degree.
But TK did.
Because at the bottom line, at the end of the day, that's basically what it's all about. Because if you look at Duke have guys that, they're a top-notch team, but they have guys that go to the league, but majority of them don't go to the league. But they're successful because they got their degrees from Duke University. And people that look like us really don't take advantage of that. They just looking at the NBA as their stepping stone, as a way out, instead of I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna concentrate and I'm gonna get this degree.
I don't think that's a fair statement, because TK did go play professionally and he has a successful career, but he's just saying that his school don't really hold on to their alumni. But I think Duke, that's a cultural thing. I think that's a culture that Duke has built. But let's take it to Ice. Ice, so you played at LSU, had a long professional career, played until you were, well into your 30s, 39 years old. So what have you seen and what do you think?
Well, I think that the players should get some type of pay. I don't know how much, that would be something that would have to be discussed, of course, because I just think that, they're getting paid anyway under the table, which has been going on since, I don't know how long before I got there, but I know I experienced it, when I got to LSU and even before that, just schools just, they give you money. It's not like, let's just stop playing with, with the system and call it what it is. They say it's cheating, but all of the schools give, especially, let's say for my situation, I come from the projects in Brooklyn. My mother couldn't afford a ticket to come to Baton Rouge to see me play. Of course, I wanted my mother to come see me play. How did my mother get from Brooklyn to Baton Rouge? She ain't had no money to pay for the ticket. So the people at the school, the alumni, or whoever, they made sure that happened. You know what I'm saying? And that's supposed to be illegal. You're not supposed to do that. You know what I mean? You can't work, right? And if you get caught taking money from one of the boosters, then you lose your whole scholarship. What happens to the coach that told you to go to that booster and ask him for money whenever you need money? What about that guy? What about the coach that okays it? You know, so it's I just think, you know, they make so much money that they should definitely break the players off something.
So when you went through the whole recruitment process, were there buddies being offered to you and your family, and or jobs or anything like that?
Well, for me, not being a McDonald's All-American, and in that light, I think was the only reason that I didn't really receive what some other guys received. For instance, I played with a guy who came in a year after me at LSU called John Williams. Now, they called him Hot Plate because he gained weight once he got to the NBA, but the boy was nice with his skill game. And so anyway, when he was recruited to LSU, they gave this man this. And it's in my book, man. It's like they didn't do that for me because I wasn't the top player in America. He was. And when he came in, he had like a deal like, yo, if I don't have a brand new 380ZX at the airport when I fly into Baton Rouge, I'm going back home. And sure enough, he had him a brand new 300ZX when he got to campus, whipping it around. And he was 19 years old from where John from Watts or Crenshaw, somewhere out there. He's straight from the other side. He's just from the hood over there, you know. And that's normal stuff, though. That's been going on for years, like I said. And you shouldn't have to do that illegally to get kids. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to do that, but it's done.
Hot plate gonna be hot with you, man. You
No, it's in the book. It's in the book.
Yeah, I know. All right. So let's go to Big Mama. So Big Mama, what do you think?
You on mute, Big Mama.
You're on mute.
You on mute.
Thank you for that. Yeah, hell yeah, they should get paid. And I'll tell you why. I like to think of myself as an economic activist, and I think of every economic opportunity as an opportunity for our people to transfer wealth. And I realize that sports is a major method for us to transfer wealth. But once you get there, you get hit with taxation because you're not getting paid the right way. You following? So it's also difficult for us to get to transfer wealth that way. But in these colleges and universities, we basically are portals for wealth maintenance, right? These students are portals for wealth maintenance, but they're not maintaining any of the wealth that's being generated through their work. So just by virtue of rightness, it is imperative that the people who are creating the wealth should share in it, right? Otherwise, it feels a little bit like slavery to me. But I'm being a little exaggerating because Big Mama likes to force things. But if you're following what I'm saying, if you're part of the machine generating a large percentage of the wealth, you have to be part of the individuals participating in benefiting from it as well.
True story.
So what does that business model look like? So does the star player get paid the same amount as the last guy on the bench? Like, so what do you think?
What was that last question?
I was saying, what do you think the business model should be? Should the star player get the same amount as the 12th man on the bench, or like how should it?
You see, now I got to go into my energy talk where I say, you know, we can talk about star play, but I also think if you're talking about a team, believe it or not, even if one person is missing, there's a different dynamic and energetics that's different. So I really could not tell you that. For me, I would say everybody gets paid the same and y'all figure it out. I wouldn't be able to determine how you determine who makes more. I don't know what metrics are used in this space.
Man, I won't be honest with you, Big Mama. That definitely not gonna work. Because if I got paid the same amount as Tarence, and Tarence got paid, you know, there's gonna be a whole lot of another issue. I don't know. I think that's what the main problem is. You can't you can't say that it's gonna be equal. I love the idea because that means my money would have been real good for not doing what other people did. But I like the idea, but I don't think there's a system that can be fixed on that stage because the 12th man isn't really bringing in the money that Zion is.
But
Yeah, but I think the thing that they need to understand is once you're in that space, I think the schools need to give them personal development coaches that teaches them how to maximize their brand. If you're the best player on that team, you're gonna get those Nike deals. You're gonna get those Reebok. You're gonna get the deals. So I think in addition to that, they need to have business coaches. They need to have individuals who are showing them how to build and maintain their wealth. Yeah, it's great. You're gonna be in school for 4 years. Great. After those 4 years, we're gonna do if you don't make it into the NBA. You need to have been able to amass the wealth and the intelligence to maintain the money that you're making. So I think that's how you could kind of balance it out.
But
and I definitely don't see it. Go ahead, Dre.
Okay, NCAA is big as a whole. So even though you have Power 5 conferences, you got mid-major and you got low D1. So if I'm the best player on a low Division 1 team, should my pay or whatever I'm getting benefiting from be as much as a Zion Williamson?
I think based on this is what I would think. I would say based on the university you go to and how much money they generate, how much TV time they generate, from the first player to the last person, we all committed into this one situation, this one process is to win and to be an athlete. You know what comes with being that. The sacrifices, the time you can't do this, you can't drink, you can't smoke, you can't party, just to being looked at, that stigma. I think for it don't matter who you are on the team, you're going to get that stigma attached to your name of what you can and cannot do as a student athlete. You know what I mean? So I think as long as it should be a set price. And some people don't make it to that next league, that next level. But as long as you know you here, we made sure that you were. They tell us to be professional. We learn how to be professional, be on time, do this, do that. Don't do this. Come on now. It's like everybody get the same thing. And then once you, like you said, you that next player, you make that next jump. That's on you. But once you're still in that collegiate level, you shouldn't have to worry about those little things, because I know that they were telling us you shouldn't get a job when we was there. Like Mr. Jerry said, like we weren't able to work like that because we had practice 2 times a day or whatever was going on and study halls and all of this that we were required to do. You know what I mean? I think they should take care of players. Everybody get the same amount based off of what university you go to and what's the budget. This is the budget we decide for this team. I mean, for that team. Everyone ain't gonna get the same because your college ain't bringing in that amount of you ain't getting all those sponsors. You know what I mean?
So and also, Dre, you were talking about it, but college scholarships are 1 year now. So if you're not performing or producing, they can get rid of you.
Wow.
You know, and that's the crazy piece. You know, and also you're talking about if you have a practice time at 2 p.m. or a shoot around at 2 p.m. and that's your normal shoot around. If you're scheduled to graduate and you need a class that starts at 2 p.m., guess what? You better not schedule that class at 2 p.m. So
Right.
are you really a student athlete? You know, so I understand that. You know, with Tyson going through it, you know, Tyson his junior year, the first semester of his junior year, they were off the campus so much that his GPA dropped. They had 2 road games in 3 months. In the first 3 months of the season, they were on the road for 3 months. And so in that 3 months, he missed a lot of class. You think that mattered? You know, his job was to play basketball. You know, so some of those kids they should be compensated for it. Now, how they do it is up to them. North Dakota State is not going to get as much money as a Duke or a North Carolina. They're not going to bring it in.
Right.
You know, so they have to learn how to divvy it up. Should every player be treated the same way? Yes. Superstar right now, they're breaking it down to where you can go get your own separate deals and things like that. If that's something they want to do, cool. But based on the NCAA paying players, they should pay every kid equal because every kid goes through the same thing. They're going to have to miss some classes. They're going to have to change some classes. They're going to have to go at the end of the year. They have an evaluation period at the end of the year where they may not bring you back just because you're not performing. And that's crazy to me. You signed up for 4 years, but yet your coach getting $6 million a year. I'm sorry. Your coach getting $6 million a year to put you out there. I'm sorry.
And you
I'm
hungry.
sorry.
hungry at night, Chris, for a Popeyes 3-piece.
Exactly. Hey, here's true story. I had $3 in my account, and I ordered a Gumby's pizza. I wrote a check for $3. I felt bad because I couldn't tip the dude.
True story.
That's
That's
real.
real. That's real.
All right, so
Food table closes at 7 p.m.
Right.
Training table closes at 7 p.m. You know, so what you gonna do after that?
Right.
So Ice, let's say you back at LSU, you playing, you got your superstar status, the NCAA is paying players. So do you think that you should be getting paid the same thing as John Arroyo, who walked on to LSU and earned a scholarship this year? Because y'all a team and y'all have y'all mindset on one goal, should you guys be getting paid the same thing, or should you think you should be getting your beat wet a little more than him?
No,
If he
I think that a team is we all going to get the same amount. You know, my whole thing about the whole not being able to work thing, you know, it's making me flash back to when I was in school and I didn't have a job and I didn't have any way to get any income. So, you know, I used to have a girlfriend who, you know, had a little bit of money and stuff. So I used to kind of, you know, have her take me to I didn't have a car. You know, she'd take me to Popeyes, grab me a plate and a 22 ounce of beer. You know what I'm saying? So,
Double deuce.
yeah. So, you know, you had to do what you could do, but it's a shame to be hungry and not being able to have money. So I think that's what that money is going to go to a college kid. You know, you want to be able to go to the mall on the weekend, buy him a pair of sneakers, you know, whatever they do. You know what I mean? Just be able to have some money in your pocket that you don't have to go asking this person and that person to, you know, help you out financially.
And you making all the money for them, so you might as well give you a little something. Come on now.
Yeah,
So the money has to be split up equally.
Yeah.
It has to be the same across the board. Even though you're gonna have some boosters,
Yeah.
still gonna take care of that superstar athlete, but at least the per diem or whatever money that you get is even across the board.
Well, right now it is. Right now it is. So I know for sure that based on Tyson, they would give him his per diem, and out of that per diem, he had to pay for his apartment. And so what they would try to do is try to find the cheapest apartment, so they could have a little money left over. You know. I say Tyson is taken care of, but you know, just say a kid that, you know, he's only child, but just say a family that has 2-3 kids, and the kid doesn't get Pell Grant. So, you know, Tyson didn't get a Pell Grant. When I was in school, I didn't get a Pell Grant.
Me neither.
But you don't get a Pell Grant. Your parents they're not wealthy. They're middle class. They're working check to check, and now they got 2 kids in college, and they trying to send 2 kids, maintain bills. You know, man, you know, that's tough.
That's
you know,
tough.
even for a middle class family.
So now that's a difference. Say a kid who's in college that is not on scholarship. They have to pay for college, and they have to pay for all these other extracurriculars because they depend on Pell Grant to get
Right.
that stuff paid.
Are they bringing in 16,000 every night?
Are they?
Are they bringing in? Is it? I mean, because you got to look at, so some of those scholarships that those kids are on are sponsored by the athletic department because they make so much money.
Oh yeah.
I'm just being
so
honest.
I can believe that because what I'm saying now is football, college football, basically funds mostly all the other sports. And if there's no college football, some college sports gonna be in trouble because most of the money is generated through football.
I agree to disagree, but yeah, USF survived a long time without college football.
Well,
So Carly,
well, basketball was the main sport, and I just happened to go to 2 schools. When I transferred to Southeastern, we didn't have a football team, so we were the head dudes on campus.
Exactly. So you were paying for the music scholarships.
We was filled with dudes on campus because of football. We had a half a stadium.
So Carlisia
I
has-
think,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say the only difference I think I would add to amend to Tarence's plan is I think every year you're on the team you would get paid more. If we're gonna say there's difference, it's seniority. Like if you've been on for 2 years, you're not gonna get paid as the same person who's there for a year. I think that's a level of fairness too, because obviously the more seniority, the more responsibility you have.
Absolutely, because that most people leave to go early because of finances. They're like, I got to go to the NBA. So if they had a little bit more stability, I like that one. That would make sure each year.
Man, hey Joe, you gonna let Carlisia talk now, but I would love y'all, boy. I was 4 years, 4-year walk on, got a scholarship at the end. Boy, y'all, I make more money than the superstar they brought in as a freshman. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, so look at it this way. Like I say, I'm a devil's advocate, trying to get it different. How many people leave early school that don't look like us?
Not too many.
That's my point. It is not too many people that look like us that's not leaving school early.
So
I'm gonna say play
Why do
baseball.
you think that is, Dre? Why do you think that is?
I really can't put my hand on it, but most of them are probably above middle class, or either, or middle class, or either just accept things just the way they are. For me, for example, I did do it. My mom told me they got a roof over your head and they putting food in your mouth. That's all you need.
Right.
So Carlisia, so you just heard that. Okay, so TK's at South Carolina. He's bringing in. He's filling up the arena. 16,000.
40 million a year, 50 million a year.
Right. So the mess hall closes, or whatever you call the cafeteria. It closes at 7. Funds are low. He looking for some pizza money. So you still don't think your brother should get paid after he has 5 a.m. conditioning, go to breakfast, class, individual workout, treatment, practice, study hall. Now it's 6 a.m. again. He don't get paid. He's bringing in all this revenue to the school. He shouldn't get anything.
Well, of course, I don't want my brother to go hungry. So that's, I'm gonna, of course, you put it that way, I'm gonna want him to get paid and I want him to eat. But I think when student athletes, when they sign up for, you're getting a scholarship, and I don't think that they are made aware of how hard it's going to be. So, listen to all you guys' perspective. All you guys probably, have played a part in athletes or basketball, and I only know now just based off him. Looking at it that way, and the money that they are bringing in for these old white boosters and this old money, he was in the South Carolina. Old money, old boosters, who they've been there forever. Confederate flags are across the street from the school in downtown. So no, I don't think that an athlete should go hungry. Do I think that a per diem, like how much money are we talking about? Because I still do believe that they should be there to earn a college degree, like Mr. Lewis said. And he brought up a good point that white people, they don't leave, they don't jump school to go to the league. They don't jump ship to, go make money very quickly. Because I think they know at a very young age that how much a college degree is worth for them. And I think when our boys go to school, they're not looking at, a degree or a piece of paper. It's like, okay, well, I got to go take care of home. I got to go take care of my mom. I got to do this. So I got to make the money quickly. So to go back to your original question, if my brother was hungry, I would feel bad. Of course, I would want him to eat. It is a lot of hard work. And I saw the sacrifices that he's made from a very young age. And, as a family, we had to make, sacrifices as well. When he left for school and he graduated high school in May, went to school in June, there was no more Christmases or Thanksgivings because basketball season is during Christmas and Thanksgiving. So he's never been home for Christmas or Thanksgiving. because, you know, there's basketball. And even when he went to the league, basketball season is during Christmas and Thanksgiving. You know, thank God we were able to, you know, go to him and, you know, do all that. But there is a lot of sacrifices on the back end that they do make at a very young age. And I do think now, listening to you guys' perspective, you know, I do think they should get some type of per diem. The amount, now, I don't know.
Okay,
So
I have something to add to that, Joe.
Well, let Chris go real quick because he deboed the screen and he got.
Yeah,
You-
you know,
you see-
Debo, screen.
No, I'm just saying. So just say, for example, you're driving into Fargo, North Dakota. This is what you see.
How much we
What's
get
the
for that,
first thing-
Chris? What we get for that?
Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Actually, you know, if he wasn't playing good, you know, a threat that he could lose his scholarship.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying that, you know, this is what you see. This is your advertisement. It doesn't say just North Dakota State basketball. You got a kid up there hanging. Now it's good for the kid to see. But when you go into that arena and you see, and on top of it, you see your coach every time you win and go to the next level. They get, I think his coach got about maybe $30,000, $40,000 in bonuses this year for winning the conference tournament. Bonuses. That's bonuses. That's not even going to last year in the NCAA tournament. He had bonuses for a structured win for, you know, and they gave him some bags and a T-shirt. And I'm not saying you have to give them millions of dollars. I'm not saying buy a car, but man, you got to pay these kids, man. And no lie, this is modern day slavery. I don't care what nobody says. It's pimping the system. It's modern day slavery. It is. So you can give them an education, cool. But how many kids do they give scholarships every single year? How many universities give out scholarships to just normal students to come on and go to school?
And
They do it
let
every
me
single
add,
year.
and I also wanted to add about the quality of the education that they're receiving because of the amount of time that they're not spending on their academics. They're missing classes. They're not able to study the way that they're supposed to be studying. How are they? You give them a degree, but do they really get that degree? And so, you know, a lot of times they jump ship. It's the amount of stress. I have friends who are currently playing football in local university in Massachusetts, and the amount of stress that they go through, it's things that people aren't even aware of. I can understand why it's not just the money. They don't treat them like humans. They treat them like like pieces of flesh that's able to do a particular function. And once that function is no longer capable of being produced, they get tossed to the side.
Okay, so now we're talking about basketball. Are we talking about all sports across the board? Because
That's going to be
on
the issue.
NCAA level, you got other sports that do not gain revenue, but they do give scholarships. You got golf, you got like volleyball, you got track, you got all these other sports that really don't generate avenue, but they have scholarships.
But a lot of those sports don't give full scholarships.
That's true.
Correct, but they give some amount of money to something. So they have to. So when we're talking about paying athletes, if we're talking about paying athletes for every sport or just basketball or
I
football,
think that if you decide to go play lacrosse, that is a decision you fiscally decided that there's a cap to the amount of money you're gonna make. Okay, let's all agree on that. So you know what sport you're gonna go into. So based on, let's just let the market decide. If your sport cannot bring in the amount of money that basketball or football can, lo siento, that means sorry, you just can't get paid the same amount. But you should get paid a little something.
Hey, but let me say this, Joe. Do we think, and I think we're gonna agree on this, do we think it's culturally based? Because let's go into other sports. Let's go into baseball. In baseball, you don't have to go to college to make all this money. Let's be real. They get you right out of high school. But now they're making all these rules. Right. They're making all these rules specifically for football and basketball, which, let's be honest, most African Americans take over those sports. So going back to it, is it a control thing? And I've always felt that way. It's a control thing because everything else, they can do it on their own. There's an avenue. But for some reason with basketball and football, they got a little trap, a little square where they hold you in. I don't know.
Oh, so I can agree with John because a high percentage of African Americans go to college, play football or basketball. It's a small percentage in those other sports. So if I had to do it all over again, I'd be boxing at 8.
You know, even and it's changed. So I have the question for ICE. You know, the revenue has changed. You know, and he said something that was the revenue has changed, but the system hasn't. So right now, ICE, what do you think that dude would be worth coming into a university right now? What would be his status right now?
Well, I think a number that would be sufficient for a college a kid on scholarship at a big time university would probably be like $3,000 a month. You know, that way, you know, you got enough money to take your girl on a date, you know, once a week, or you know, go buy your little clothes or do whatever. Send your moms a few dollars if they need it. You know, that's just for you to, you know, basically survive on. You know what I mean? So
hey, they're gonna give you minimum wage, man.
Now, so if you go,
ain't even a lot of
minimum wage.
That's not even a lot of money, $3,000 a month. But that's enough for a college kid. Let me tell you that.
So that's $3,000 a month across the board, across all sports, or is it just the big?
I would say that type of money for the big sports. You know, football and basketball. The other sports I can't really speak on because, you know, they're not generating any dollars. So, you know, I feel for them.
So y'all talked a lot about per diems. What is a per diem and how much do you get? Because I wasn't getting no per diem at St. Leo.
so it just came about. So it's kind of like a cost of living type deal.
No,
Yeah,
they just came about.
Yeah, well, I know we got per diems on the road. When I was we got per diems on the road. I'll give you a perfect example.
But per diem is like $20 for the.
Yeah, but so like we got money for staying on campus every day for Christmas, right? So I was asking one of my boys who was at the University of Houston, and we got like $20, $25. They were getting like $65, $70 a day.
Hey, but $25 back in the day go a long way.
You ain't never lied, bro. You ain't never lied. But at the same time, when you got to do at the next school in the same conference, and I was in a Power 5 or Power 6 conference in the Southwest Conference back then, you know, 65 cent, $40 difference is big.
Huge.
You know, a $50 difference, that's big. But that was the amount of revenue they were bringing in. So you do have those schools. And you know, Tyson I think he would end up with like $300, maybe $400 extra out of after you paid his rent. You know, so that money went to food.
But Chris, what did the per diem consist of? Like the per diem that Tyson got this past 4 years, he had to use it for what?
He had to use it for rent, so he had to pay his rent out of it, and then whatever he had after his rent and utilities, it was left over for him. So they just put it into.
That was because he stayed off campus. All right.
That's because he stayed off campus.
See, some colleges have apartments already.
Yeah. But he stayed. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Or
thing. They have campus.
On campus. Like all
they have campus living.
We were on campus, but we had our own dorm.
Mm-hmm.
So our per diem was we get, like you said, for Christmas, we got $5 for breakfast, $10 for lunch, and $20 for dinner. So that was $35 in a day that they gave you in per diem to eat with. And
you being a college athlete, how much did you eat?
But sometimes even though they gave us the per diem, they still fed us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know they still fed us. But back in the day, you get a Big Mac combo and a Whopper combo for $2.99.
Man, you ain't never lying.
Yeah, but you know you ain't getting that right now.
Hey, but okay. So moving forward though, TK, did you get a per diem, and was it for certain things?
Yeah, it was just like who was just saying that when you move off campus, they give you a certain amount, write you a check or whatever. I think it was only like $900. Rent was like 5 something, I think, at that time, maybe 6, and the rest was just left over. But you don't get nothing outside of that.
But that's because they took the money that you were supposed to be on campus.
On campus and just gave that to you.
Yeah, and they just gave you that check to pay for your stuff off campus.
But okay, so
Pretty
you were
much.
getting that per diem, but did you have
Cost of
a
living.
meal program at the school where you can go into
Yes.
the
Yes. Yes. Tyson had a meal program. They can go in anytime they want and eat. But still, you're talking about it. What about when campus closes? That's my biggest thing. You know, so you got this kid running around with $300. You know, you go to Applebee's and he's talking about getting a 2 for $20 so he can have an extra meal on the weekends or late night. These kids eat a lot. Now, sometimes you can't even make it to the calf because remember, you got practice or you got a game that's going to end up late.
And you got to be on time.
Then you got to study.
Right.
Like you still up 3 o'clock. I remember being up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning trying to do papers and still getting up going to class or going.
You weren't doing no damn papers,
That
dog.
was bad planning on your coach. That was bad planning on your coach.
I wasn't gonna say nothing like that because I know.
Hey, look.
Paper.
Hey, look. Hey, look. I mean, even if somebody else was doing it, you had to still, have somebody else write your book.
But our free time went to after 10 o'clock. That was our free time. We had class, we had individual workout, we had mandatory play, and we had mandatory study hall. But before mandatory study hall, you had an hour and a half to eat before the cafeteria closed. And then like our study hall was like from 7 to 9. So every day we didn't have, unless you mingle in between the day or whatever, you didn't have time to yourself till after 9 o'clock at night.
And what's open on campus at 9 o'clock?
Subway for us.
So there's your money.
Well, I thought you
and Riley's, the big Buford, baby. And White Castles.
All right, so every sport has to sacrifice something. And basketball, you get you sacrifice Christmas. You miss Christmas break. Football has a short summer. Baseball miss spring.
Oh, Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
And if you make the tournament, spring break.
Yeah, you use spring break. All right, so I'm trying to think. So when I was on Christmas time, I remember all the students were going home. We were the only ones on campus at St. Leo. I don't remember getting no damn per diem. I'm trying to figure out how I was eating, man.
You was on your own. You was on your own.
You was at D2. You D2. D2 don't give them.
I guess so.
Oh my God. Yeah, so we were on campus, and you got to remember that.
We didn't get a per diem at LSU either because we had our dorm. The dorm and the cafeteria. We had an athletic cafeteria where all the athletes ate. So they didn't give us no per diem because they fed us good at the cafeteria, and you can have as much as you want. But once again, the cafeteria closes at 7 o'clock. And you be hungry later on, like 10 o'clock, you be kind of hungry, and then, you ain't got no money in your clothes.
Hey, you used to survive. Hey, we used to get extra sandwiches and stuff and put them in and put them up for later.
Yeah, I definitely used to do that.
Sure, taking fruit and everything, put it in your bag, whatever. You ain't supposed to take nothing out of the cafeteria.
You ain't supposed to take nothing. And they do make it to where, like, in Tyson's situation, they do make it to where, if he wanted to go to the training facility, they had like cereal, they had bagels, they had breakfast bars, they had yogurt, they had sandwiches you can make. They have that. But after a certain time, and you're talking about a kid eating that all year. Like kids get tired of that stuff all year. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. And so I understand a kid wanting to go out to eat just like everybody else. If he's not just hanging with his team, and he got some friends on campus, they going out to eat. They want to go eat with their friends too. So just imagine a kid not having. Man, listen, they don't pay these kids. They're gonna lose out. They're gonna lose a lot of money. They're gonna have to pay these kids, man. You got University of Florida for football. I'll give you a perfect example. They are filling that stadium. University of Florida has their own. Like University of Florida itself does not write the athletic department's checks. The athletic department writes their own checks. Like they have a separate, like it don't come from the University of Florida, it comes from the athletic department if you're getting a check.
Wow.
Like that's how big they are.
Wow.
They're separate from the university. So how much money they bringing in? And you telling me this kid can get paid? You know, I said $3,000. You telling me you can't give a kid $2,000 a month? You're not gonna break nobody's bank. You
At
got
least
15
minimum
kids.
wage, but you know
That's
they still
$30,000 a
have to
month.
cover scholarships for these
Dre,
programs that don't
I'm gonna tell you
generate
this:
money.
you have some schools that will not come down this far unless a school is paying them $90,000, $60,000 to $90,000 to come play, plus plane tickets, plus hotel
Right.
stay.
But right
So
now,
this is what you're getting paid to go play, on top
so
of plane ticket. Come
on
on, man.
schools that are not generating that revenue. For example, right now, Jacksonville University, the Dolphins, they just got rid of their football program.
Because the basketball
just
program is bigger than the
totally
football.
disbanded the football program, so they don't have football anymore because it
They
wasn't
just started.
generating
They couldn't
enough
afford
money.
it. Exactly.
So I had one of my guys that played football, and he tried to enter the draft and had to go back to college. And I won't say his name, but I remember we were playing at hooping at Tampa Prep, and I was like, "Well, what you got to do to get back in school?" And he said, "Oh man, I got to take like 3 classes in the summer, and I got to pay back. I got to pay back like $112,000." And I was like, "Damn, dog." And he was like, well, "I got $250," and I was like, "My bad." I guess some of these guys do get paid, man. Like, it's just not a world I ever experienced. But for the sake of time, we're just gonna take a quick round table to see what everybody thinks. So, yes or no, Dre, should the NCAA pay its players?
Yes.
John.
Something.
Yes, if the system works out. It got to be a good structured system.
Carlisia, should the NCAA pay its players?
Yes.
We got her on, dog. We got her in. Reel her in, baby. Reel her in.
Yes.
Big Mama, should the NCAA pay its players?
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
All right, Chris, what you got?
Man, stop playing. Come on, man. Stop playing.
TK?
Right. Man, most definitely.
All right, Ice?
Yeah, they got to spread the bread, man. Stop being cheap and stingy, man. They got a lot of it, man. Share that bread.
Yeah, I definitely think they should be paying the players. So, Ice, you got a book you've been working on for a while. You just about done with that. So, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I've been working on my autobiography for about 3 years now, and it's pretty much done. It should be out in the next year or two. And yeah, it's going to be pretty juicy and dicey and all of that. Calling a lot of things out. You know what I mean? So stay tuned. It's going to be interesting.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's big, Ice.
Looking forward
Yeah,
to
it
it.
is.
So, TK, I know you currently was playing in Italy. So, you got anything else going on that you want to tell us about?
I'm just thankful to be back home right now. That's all. Now, hopefully this ain't the last Zoom call. I'm really enjoying it, and I'll give you some updates a little bit later on anything else.
Okay, definitely, man.
Right now, it's behind the scenes working on some things.
That's what's up.
Not ready to put it on the forefront.
All right, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, man. We definitely
Yes,
have
sir.
you back on, man. Carlisia, you got anything you working on?
Just trying to get these kids to graduate high school.
That's right.
Ooh, that's a tough one right there, huh?
Very stressful time, even though we're working from home.
Right. So a lot of the kids don't get their graduation. So what have you been hearing about some of that stuff? They don't get to actually walk across the stage.
Well, we have graduation dates in July, so hopefully they will be able to walk across the stage if all this, if the COVID calms down. So they do have, Hillsborough County has graduation dates in July at the fairgrounds.
Gotcha.
So if the meeting, like right now, still only 10 people like in a gathering. So if that increases, that's what they're hoping, that they can graduate. If not, then they'll just get their diplomas in the mail, and the school district will have to come up with like a virtual ceremony or something like that.
No, it's going to be atrocious. Can I ask a real quick question? What's your percentage of kids that have not logged on to the website to finish up? Due to not having internet, because I've heard some numbers, due to not having internet, or just maybe having 2 or 3 or 4 siblings in the house.
My school
Wow.
hasn't been that bad. We
No.
get like a weekly roster, like a kids didn't like check in on like a Monday or Tuesday, and it's maybe like 10 or 15 kids, but it's different names, so it's not that bad. What we're having an issue is that seniors who are already behind and already working in like credit recovery, trying to catch up on classes, they're not logging into that particular platform. So it's just constantly calling home, emailing them and their parents. So that's what we're doing.
So are you expecting graduation rates to be down this year?
No, not so much, because right now they don't have a semester exam. So they're averaging the third quarter and the fourth quarter grades. If they didn't pass their state assessments, those are waived. So the graduation rates will, are going to be okay as long as, they just do the work. Like they have the students who hadn't passed like the reading FSA or the EOC, there's still a lot of seniors who haven't passed those state assessments. Those are waived. So automatically, they get credit for that.
Good Lord.
And
Joe, we would have gone D1. Joe, we would have gone D1 right out the box, dog, right now.
Hey,
I would have been getting
County?
per diem if we would have had that.
You in Hillsborough County?
Hey,
Yes, I'm in Hillsborough County.
What
school?
you're still at Durant?
You where?
You're at
Riverview.
Durant?
No, I'm not a
Oh,
Durant.
you're at Riverview. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's the last
Oh, you
place
work
I
with my
saw you.
wife.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, I do know that. Man, I'm tripping.
Hey, I could have had me a per diem if I was coming up in 2020. The back pass the test.
I'm gonna tell you what, if some of these kids don't do their virtual stuff right now, though, send them to my program. I got room at Uville.
Already.
And I pay them. I'm better
I
than
got
the
one bit
NCAA.
of advice for our college students. I'm a living witness. When your last year and your time is up and you don't have enough credits to graduate, I went to my counselor. What can I switch into to graduate now? I ended up graduating. I was a sports management major, but I knew I wanted to pursue a professional career. So I asked him, what can I switch into to graduate now so I can get my degree? I got a general study degree, and I'm proud of it.
You got a degree.
Yo, Dre, you a fool, man.
Didn't you transfer? Didn't you transfer and got a whole another year, man?
In 5 years.
You still had to change majors, man.
I changed.
Joe, I'm gonna tell you like this. I transferred. You only said 2. I transferred 3 times. All right. I ain't gonna tell
But
nobody.
I was one of them dudes was thinking about the NBA. Ain't you?
Hey, when you transfer, you
I
lose
was-
credits too, depending on that school taking
Youth
credits.
education, and I had to change my major when I transferred.
Yeah.
So, but I did get my degree.
All right, so Lucien, and congratulations in getting that degree. So Lucien, I know you wear a lot of hats. I know you got something going on.
Yes, I have. So in Massachusetts, I'm a founder of Greenlight Business Solutions, where we help people access the marijuana business. So if you want to start a marijuana business, we'll take you from the point you have the idea to the point you open your doors. We'll help you access all the services and resources needed to get you through that process. So if anybody's interested in that, Greenlight Business Solutions. In California, I'm a founder of Albert Einstein's, where we have these cigars called El Bluntos. So those are found in all stores. So look out for El Blunto. In Massachusetts, I'm doing a lot. We have Major Bloom, which is our dispensary that's opening up in November. I also own a brewery called 67 Degrees.
Well, damn. Joey, where y'all been hiding her from? Look at that.
And stop playing. Hey, Joe. Hey, John.
We need to get all this stuff sponsored by Green Light, Boom Boom Cigars, with all that.
I'll get y'all some beer.
Hey, I love that. John, she ain't been hitting now. Come on, stop playing now.
So, John, you trying to get a weed leaf put on the skill center uniform, man? We can't do that.
Hey, man, look, anything bringing the money for the kids, what's the problem?
But I will drop one last thing. I started a podcast a few weeks ago called Legally Great. And it's basically teaching people the mindset that they need to have in order to be successful. And basically telling people incredible stories so that they could know that anything that they could see in their mind is possible.
Right.
So it's awesome. The first episode is a story of my friend who was able to cure breast cancer in 6 months by just removing toxicities in her life. So the power of the mind is real. That's the only reason why I have so many businesses, because you can manifest whatever is in your heart and in your mind.
Now it's
Amen.
called, the podcast is called Legally Great. And where
Legally great. And that's one word. It's stuck together. It's because I want people to find their internal greatness so they too can be certified as legally great.
where can we find it?
What happened?
Where can we find the podcast?
It's everywhere. You can go on Apple, Spotify, Anchor.
Gotcha.
What's on Android? I heard you say Apple.
Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
I
Anchor,
catch it on
yeah.
Spotify. But we appreciate you guys coming on. Ice, TK, Carlisia, Lucien. We really appreciate you guys. Maybe we can do it again sometimes with a different topic.
Definitely. Thanks for having us.
Oh, no
Well,
problem.
definitely.
you.
You guys.
Hey, when we
Hold
post,
up before you get off.
when we post it, make sure y'all
Hold
send it
up.
off, man. Y'all tag everybody and send it out.
All
I'll
right.
let y'all know when we post it.
Have a good
It
night.
goes on. Yeah.
We waiting on Joe to start
Good
recording.
night.
Oh, okay. Well, we out.
Yo, pump it up. It's time for the news.